Awkward silence. Silence has always been a really big challenge for me because, I have the Hooman Zoomies, or the human Zoomies. If you don't know what that is, Zoomies is with dogs, is when the dogs just decide burst of energy and they start ripping and tearing. Lately I've been doing this dive into, ADHD, but more so I understand that these are personality traits. And I understand that the professional world will take traits, good and bad, study these traits. How do they affect individuals in social or emotional or professional or creative ways, and then kind of put them in little boxes and stuff, and then we label them. And then those professionals can look at different ways at trying to work with people with these labeled in-boxed personality traits. And some with medication, some with therapy, talking and stuff. And I wish I had that strength to embrace peace and quiet. Not only in here, but also, that journey that I have, this anxiety that I get when I'm with people. It could be one person, or it could be a group of people. It could be professional, it could be social. And if I hear too much space, I start to get a little nervous, and I'm in on a conversation, or I'll and not so much so that I'm in on a conversation pointing any energy towards me, but I just might say like, well, so Steve, what about you? How you been? You know what I'm saying? Like that thing, and I feel socially awkward, and then what ends up happening is that I end up pulling back at the end of the day and sitting in my own space, which I don't talk to myself a lot. But when I'm here working or writing, or if I go outside and stuff, I can handle the quiet. It's like I could sit for 3 or 4 hours on the beach and just hear water. I don't have to have headsets in, and I don't have to listen to music. I can enjoy the peace and quiet. But there's just something that happens when I get kind of fused up with other people's energies. I don't know what it is. It's at time kind of wreaked havoc on my social confidence. Funny enough, right? Because I'm energetic, right? I talk all the time. I always have something to say, and and always mostly very supportive or very lighthearted. But there's this tug of war between that, supreme silence of me sitting for 4 hours, on the beach or something, and then the monkey mind that kicks in, and I'm having multiple conversations sometimes. When I'm listening to somebody, and I'm listening to the subject matter of what that person is saying, and then in my mind I'm having another conversation, still part of the conversation, but I'm not present. And that has a lot to do, I think, with this, these personality traits that I like to call the Hooman Zoomies. If we could take some of the personality traits that people have boxed in and said, ADHD, it's a condition, it's a disorder. Don't get me started on that, right? What is order? Who decided what is disorder? Anyhow, there I go. Cabbage.
A few moments later.
The challenge for me is that awkward silence, that thing where I can feel myself fighting it, even if I'm in a group of people and it gets quiet in my brain. Don't say it, don't do anything, don't say it, don't do anything. And it happens, It's a trip. I've learned to live with it, not for the worse. I don't necessarily know of anything that anybody else have passed any kind of judgment on, like, oh, here comes Jeeves, it's going to be a chatty night, or whatever. But that's my mind now. That even that statement is a reflection of my mind going, and then I slip into, what do people think when I've got my human Zoomies, I think the most important part of it is that I'm aware of it. And, if I'm aware of it, then when it comes into play, then I can have that side chatter in my head, to try to, pull back on it a little bit. I have some people that say, dude, just let her rip. You are who you are. Are you, in my mind, then all of a sudden that conversation goes, am I now taking what some people would call a disorder and try to make it orderly for the behest of interaction with other people? because even though I am kind of all over the place, I'm not happy with who I've become as a human being. As far as taking that energy and somehow it's manifested into very creative parts of the world, things that I do. Everything that I've ever done is very creative oriented. And it's that energy, and if I try to self-bottle that up, then maybe I wouldn't be the composer that can handle the kind of jobs that I get. Or maybe I wouldn't have built a couple of hundred websites in the course of 15, 18 years for a little side gig that I had, a little side hustle that I did, or did coding, or learned to videotape and edit and all the creative things that goes along with that. Anyhow, you see, this is a really good classic example of me starting on a subject matter and going whoosh. So I think what's really fun is that these videos that I pop out sometimes is a moment of me having my own therapy, let's just say with folks that I can't see. I'm looking at a camera, and I guess that's what therapy is about too, is when you sit and you talk to somebody, except that person will talk back to you, might give you. Fortunately, I have a few friends that I'm able to have, nice deep chats with, but doesn't fix the problem so much so as it does, as much as it does make me feel human to know that other people have Hooman Zoomies. And that awkward silence. Geez, I'm like, I gotta say something, is a much bigger thing than what's in my head, that other people kind of go through the same thing. Anyhow, more coffee to come. 14 more tracks I got to write by the end of this year, and all the things that I do as a Hooman Zoomer, and the channels and all the blah blah blah. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, morning, afternoon, or whatever it is, wherever it is you are. Yeah, it's all good. All right.